Hello and welcome to week 2 of the lecture for technical writing. When you consider that this is a compressed course, in other words, it only lasts about 9 weeks rather than the usual 15, you can see that we're well on our way to being within the midst of the class. Let's first discuss a little bit last week, week number 1. If you haven't already done so, please do give a rather serious reading to the syllabus. There's a lot of material in there that I think if you read it ahead of time will prove very valuable in preventing some problems or challenges in the future. For example, the class participation section is pretty interesting and reminds you of deadlines for having material done, for example. In addition, the student attendance is helpful, as is the reading of the required written work and how it should be done, as well as the issue on plagiarism, technology help, and the chronological outline that is at the last few pages of the syllabus. You will find that each of the weeks when it first appears in the syllabus is not particularly complete, but each week before a new week begins I flesh it out completely, and then I will send that updated chronology to you through the messages component in Blackboard, and I will also post it on the Blackboard announcements page, so you should always have a really good idea of exactly what's going on each week. Last week you completed discussion board forum number 1, What Should Jack Do? And I wanted to thank you so much for your very interesting and engaging and very well thought out responses. They were a lot of fun to read. I'm sure you enjoyed doing so as well, posting your own original thoughts and then responding to a classmate. It was very enjoyable indeed. But perhaps you're thinking, get it, Rodin's The Thinker, when you look at your grades, they're not posted as of this recording, but they will be shortly for the discussion board. Perhaps you're wondering why you didn't get full credit. Well, ask yourself, did I make my original post before midnight of Wednesday, January 13th? Did I post my reply to a classmate before midnight of Friday, January 15th? Did I remember to focus my original and response posts on OIC, obligations, ideals, and consequences? You had been reminded to use OIC, reminded in several places, as in the recorded lecture from last week, the discussion board instructions, the PowerPoint that presented the Jack Victor story, and you'd also been invited to include references to duty ethics, virtue ethics, and consequence ethics, as well as to make references to Immanuel Kant, Aristotle, and John Stuart Mill. So, if your posts were made on time, and they were professional and courteous, and they were based on obligations, ideals, and consequences, then you did get the full credit. Now, if you do have any questions about your grade on the discussion board, please do feel free to contact me. Click the Messages tab in Blackboard. In the To, click Janice High Instructor. In the subject line, put your name and the letters DB, that stands for Discussion Board. Then in the Compose box, let me know what you would like to know regarding Discussion Board number 1. Discussion board number 1 is very valuable in its discussion of ethics and OIC because that will figure prominently into your ethics essay, which is coming up and I'll discuss in just a moment or two. And as we take a look at the announcements board for this week on Blackboard, we've already discussed quite a bit of this, the readings. Do let me know if you have any questions on the readings. Now, of course, we're talking about this week. In each chapter, I only give selected pages to read to reduce your reading load, but I sure do figure you're actually reading the material, and chapters 14 and 16 will become very valuable as the semester progresses and you begin writing a lot of technical documents. So, you know the topic, you know what your readings are, and you're listening to the recorded lecture right now. And what I'd like to know is which format you prefer. Do you like accessing the lecture within Blackboard, or do you prefer doing so via YouTube? You know, we do have another option. You could listen to the lecture through the Illuminate Live recordings. All you would do is click Communications, eLive, Recorded, and then you would listen to a recorded session. Do let me know what you think about eLive or YouTube or Blackboard. Send me a message to Janice High Instructor, subject line your name and the word recording, and in the compose box tell me your opinion. And our new discussion topic, discussion board number 2 for week number 2. Before midnight Wednesday, introduce yourself to your classmates. Within that discussion, be sure to tell what your major is and or what your job is, if you have one, and then why technical communication is useful for that degree or that job. And if you need the particulars of getting there to the discussion board, in Blackboard, click the tab marked Discussion Board, click Week 2. For the thread, in the subject, use your name, and then make the posting. In other words, it's just like we did last week. You know, no matter what kind of document you produce, technical document in our case, you always do have to consider the ethics of what you're doing. And as you know, and as we've discussed, we explored ethics within the Jack and Victor story, focusing on obligations, ideals, and consequences. And now you're going to apply OIC to a business scenario. Check your messages, or you can also go to course materials, or you can look at the assignments page, and you'll see this scan. It's 6 different stories, 6 different scenarios, business cases that involve an ethical decision. When you check your messages, you will find out which of those 6 you will base your essay on. You're going to write an ethics essay. It's going to be based on OIC, and it's going to deal with one of those 6 stories, scenarios, the one that you've been assigned. Once you've read these, once you've found out which one is yours, be sure to go to Blackboard Assignments, click the assignment, because there's where the rubric is. There's where you will find the instructions of how to write the essay. And this draft essay is worth 5 points, and it is due before midnight through the assignments feature. Well, have a lot of fun working on your assignment for week 2. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message. I love interacting with you, and I'll be happy to help you out in any way I can. Bye for now. I'll be talking to you soon.